Yeah, that's a good point. That's going to be confusing. It's going to be confusing. Let's just see what happens. All right. Whoa. Oh, I see me. Okay. How do I adjust? Oh my god, my clothes are everywhere. Cover your body. All right. How can could I, probably not. Could I, oh, I could make myself a moderator and then I could probably allow guests. How can I do that? Are these words making sense? Can I, ooh, what'd I do? Okay, so, all right, go back. What'd I do? So sorry. Okay, all right. Okay. I can fix this thumb still. All right. I'm just getting everything set up. You guys know I'm always working through the camera angles as I go. I'm trying to like work on like all of this as far as like how I am positioned here and then to share a yoga pose. My idea is that I'll come on in the morning, talk through about the energy of the day, maybe take some questions. On TikTok, I have it that I can accept guests for like a conversation. I'm not sure how I'm going to work that from here in this moment, only because my phone is there and I am here. I think I have to make my other account a moderator so that I could allow guests. But this is the first day that I'm doing this, so I'm not, I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. It will get better, as it always does. So let's see. I feel like, I don't know if I need to really do this right now. I think I can just let it just ride how it is, and next time it'll be better. Can you come help? Good morning, happy Friday. So today's topic, oh, I can't see me. Wah! Cool, all right. Today's topic we're going to talk about is time freedom. Every day of the week, there's a different part of my energy wellness that I focus on. Fridays is freedom. This week, I've been talking a lot about time and our place and relationship with time and how we can improve that through our thought energy and our energy wellness routine. Excuse me, I'm burpy. All right. I also was looking into the astrology this morning, and, we are in this Mercury retrograde. Also, we are 4 days until the full moon. This is going to be the first full moon of the new year of the horse. And the energy is sort of asking you to be very present. Don't let yourself get so swept up in the momentum in another person's demands that you just respond and react without thinking and deciding. This is going to be very powerful, bold energy from you to take your power that way. And you'll feel uncomfortable and awkward in the beginning, especially if you're someone that, like me, it used to feel like I had very little control over my response. I would just, it was a little like a machete. I'd just be chopping and, I felt very much like not in control of a lot of things. So my flip mouth felt like I was going to be in control of that. But in this case, for these next couple of weeks, notice where you're feeling this urge to react immediately, whether it's with a person or an experience or even in your own energy. Take your time and slow down as you're moving through the day, when you're getting yourself ready, when you're cleaning up your home at night, when you're talking with your littles or getting them ready to do anything. Let yourself slow down and be present. Don't rush through. Know that these moments, especially the moments that seem in between, that seem not important, are so important. They're the moments that are sort of building and actually preparing the things that you are looking forward to in a more bigger way, in a more like, ooh, this is exciting. You know, I realize the part of the day where we get to wash the dishes and clean up is probably not as exciting as, you know, having something that you've worked on work out, you know, something that you've been looking forward to happen. Obviously, there are parts of the day that are more enjoyable than others. But, you know, you are able to be present and find moments of joy within that. And we do this different ways. We do it by practicing. To me, if we don't enjoy something, my idea is to zoom out as far as not take it in a personal. If I was not me and this was not them or it was not it, how can I look at this as two things having an interaction? From there, how could I find some sort of appreciation for this whole aspect, whether it's their perspective, what's happening, or what will be next, you know? There's always a way for me to sort of get a shoe in, you would say, with appreciation. And from there, I can sort of soften tension or anxiety around or in a situation. So with your time, notice when you're feeling rushed. Notice when someone isn't giving you a moment to breathe and react, you know? In an older dynamic, I had a person who would like to call in a panic. In fact, would only sometimes call when things were like going to hell in a handbasket, as you could say. And it would be like this urgency. I need you to respond now. I need you to help me now. And then I would get off the phone and it's just like, you know, I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? Well then, you know, this also would be the same person that things would get resolved and they wouldn't even call to let me know. You know, the person would only seem to show up and call when I was like wanted for their part of this situation to respond quickly, to give in and basically do what they wanted me to do. I find that when people are rushing you, they aren't really asking you or giving you a chance to do what you want to do. When people are rushing you to answer or rushing you to respond, they sort of already have decided what they want from you and they don't want anything else, you know? And maybe just letting yourself slow down and letting yourself see to your like inner child and to your shadow self that you are in charge of your time, not anyone else, even people that you love, not your boss, even people that pay you, you know? You are in charge of your time. You are going to take care of the contents of your ship. I like to call our body the vessel, you know, the place of which our soul stream pours into, the contents of a ship. We're like a ship, a container, you know, and you, the thinking on purpose person, gets to drive your ship. So when you are on purpose, like whether you're being present in a situation or being mindful of your words when you speak, being on purpose of how you care for your things, you know, all these ways you are being the driver of your ship. You're caring for the contents of your ship. And we can slow down our action, our responses all day long and be more in our thinking mind about it. Not to overthink about anything, but just to notice, what am I doing in these moments that don't seem like anything? Because there's usually a lot of information and there's definitely a lot of space for creation in those places. I want to talk a little bit about where are we at. We've talked about time and we've talked about time freedom. Let me, let's see. Let's pull a card and see. I have two different decks. These are both new. I have this guy looks like they have to do with animals. I'm a big fan of that. And then this one clearly says inner child. Super, super big fan of that. I think it's probably, if you would think of like the 4 aspects of our energetic self, the shadow, higher self, inner child, higher self, ego. I always forget the ego. Isn't that hilarious? My favorite healing space has been the inner child. I think it's easily the most misunderstood, and maybe just from my perspective, I'll say most understood, probably so. Undervalued, I would also say, is probably true, but that could just be my bias. I do think I'm right about the misunderstood part, though. I would love to hear other people's experience that have healed and worked through these spaces. I would love to hear everybody's opinion about all of this. And if you have any questions while we're going through these things, I would love for you to ask them. If you're in TikTok world, I know that I can do some sort of, oh my God, why is your tongue little? Is it? It's not. I think it's just dark in this room. Oh my God, I probably shouldn't have done that. Roses for Toesies, you're hilarious. I swear, I'm not the only one that always is found by, our feet-loving humans. I swear it just comes with the yoga territory. It has to. Because I see them also on my other yoga friends. It's like, look at you guys. All right. So I'm not really quite sure how these are working out. They seem to have, okay, so it's like a double thing. Let's just see what's going on. The synchronicities today have so far been F, the letter F, and anytime something is doubled, it's better. So F and FF. So Freedom Friday. Anytime you're seeing a double F, that would be a synchronicity that would maybe be a helpful information for you today. I like to play in synchronicities every single day and hear different messages. And sometimes, often, you're not really going to get all the message until the next day. It takes a little bit of getting parts in and putting the clues together, before you can quite understand what's being said. But, letting yourself sort of play with the universe this way in this communication, and letting yourself hear the message and letting yourself have this call response relationship with the universe, which we do have. Our intuition, our higher self cannot interject into our experience unless we are inviting and allowing that. It's sort of like the vampire, but the good vampire, So if you don't invite, you are often offered again and again and again opportunities to allow. But if you woke up on every day and just on purpose invited, you sort of speed it up and quicken it up. And anytime you are doing something like that, you're just more sure. And when you're more sure, the universe is going to respond. You do something little, the universe responds something big. Some intention like that might seem little to you, but that's pretty big to the universe. The universe would likely give you feedback pretty quickly. Anytime you do something new, you'll likely get feedback pretty quickly. Letting yourself slow down in the day to notice the feedback is the key. But this is why you let yourself practice and try and learn and see what grabs your attention. In the beginning of my intuition learning, there were times when I felt like I was just making something up. I wasn't intuiting it, I was just choosing it or deciding, Like when pulling a card, for example. So now I know when I feel a card, like right now I have 16 cards because they're brand new. When I'm moving through the deck, as I'm moving through, my fingers will feel and I just push on it and that's the card that I want. In the beginning of this, I overthought that so much. I'm like, well, what if this wasn't the card? What if I'm just picking a card? That First thing is both could be true in the beginning. Second is just like any time you see a young person learning and they're getting a little encouragement and a little more encouragement, they're going to get it. You getting to teach yourself this, letting yourself learn this, is sort of a way of working with your inner child. You're letting yourself be new at something. You're letting yourself grow and develop. You're encouraging yourself. So in the beginning, it is a little insecure feeling on the inside. But as you go and keep looking for clues and looking back and forth, you will gather the evidence. And the evidence is what makes us feel sure. The sureness is what gives us the confidence, and the confidence gives us a space to have faith in our intuition. And then once we're there, you're like an unstoppable being. Once you have faith in your intuition, that's you and you. You know what I mean? That's not takeawayable. This is something that stays. Your alignment will change and fluctuate, your energy will change, but the you and you-ness will only get better. The card, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die and cry. Are you ready? It's early in the morning, don't wake up your children. Do you, cuss word, see what this card says? Closer. Do you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the words? It's FF. Nancy, Q, Sia. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. Don't copyright me, Facebook. I'm just having a... That's nuts. That's a sort of nuts. Fertile fucking foundation. Hallelujah. Which numbers are ya? 7. Of course you're 7. Because what's today? Also the 27th. Oh my God. God dang it, Gina. So cute. Okay, be patient. Manifesting takes time. Working hard without seeing immediate evidence of change can be discouraging. When you plant a seed, a lot happens beneath the surface. You do not need to see the seed to sprout to know it's growing. You do not need to see change occurring to feel it in your heart. This card asks you not to be discouraged by the slow, steady pace of growth. When a seed of change is planted and cultivated with tender care and patience, its roots grow deep enough to withstand the test of time. Nurture your seed with patience and love. Still, the results of your efforts might not be as you imagined. Find comfort in knowing that your efforts will never go unrewarded. Developing skills to support your growth creates a fertile foundation for long-term abundance so that you can nourish and protect your seed through all of your challenges. Expand your awareness and be open to all different manifestations of your dream or goal. Do not be discouraged if your apple seed sprouts a lemon tree. It's our responsibility and privilege to plant the seed, but how it grows is in the hands of Mother Nature. You might be pleasantly surprised to realize your harvest is even more abundant than you dared to dream. So when we do this, it's really interesting how it gets to be. I was always under the impression that having expectation was dangerous or bad for us. The thing is, we want expectation in our desires. I'm not going to put expectation in another human. I'm not going to put expectation outside of me. I know as a whole being, someone that's connected to source, that cannot be separated from source, someone that is given what she wants, someone that was given her want so that she would manifest it, so that she would give it to herself, someone that is so loved and supported like that. I know that I can expect things from her. I can expect things from me. I am safe. I'm encouraged. I am rewarded for having these expectations within myself. And I do that by acting accordingly. I have these expectations, I have these knowings, and I just go and trust that. So when I get up in the morning and I have my idea, I will start the day and I go. As the day moves on, likely there will be things that come up that have nothing to do with my scenario. This is why the synchronicities and the clues help there. They will sort of keep me in the mindset that this doesn't necessarily seem like, again, I thought I was planting this and now I'm over here in lemons, but the F's are here. So I'm just going to keep on playing. And then maybe as I'm over there, another synchronicity. Maybe it won't have anything to do with the F's, but once you're on the clue, you'll know. You'll be inside of the experience and you'll know. The same way you get that little flutter when you saw the double F's like I did. The same way when I'm pulling the cards and I can feel the ding. It's like subtle responses. When you start to let yourself slow down, those responses come louder and louder. The same way that when you start to let yourself expect from yourself, your feedback becomes bigger and stronger and faster. So that's what we'll do today. Today we'll focus on FFs. We're going to slow down, especially if someone or something is sort of pushing us to respond immediately. I like that the back of this card says, joy sprouts within me. Let that be true for you. Let yourself know you can expect good things. The universe has given you this want. God, source, has given you your want. That's because the universe wants to give it to you. Be excited for that. It isn't here right this moment, but you're ready for it. How can you be more ready? This is also a really good time to declutter and clear spaces in our house. When I was listening to the astrology with the Mercury, it can sort of be this clearing energy. The lady that I was listening to even said it could be a destructive day. I think that's because it's this rush energy that's sort of being around, and you're being a powerful, aligned being by not taking in that rush. You are assuming your time. I am in my own time. I'm not in the time of this anxiety or this retrograde or even destruction. I'm going to just choose to clear. I'm going to choose to let it go. I kind of think that when we are in these moments of the retrograde, right? When we're not aware of what we're doing with our words and our thoughts, sometimes we seem to cut away things that we don't want. We'll say something to someone that we can't take back, and it seems like that was wrong. The thing is, when we can't slow down and be present with something, it's not necessarily our best time for it. Maybe it's the universe putting that on pause, maybe in a painful way, but giving you this pause so that you'll pay attention better going forward. Maybe it's with this same person or situation. Maybe it's with a whole new dynamic human altogether. But sometimes these painful encounters of, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. When we are able to give ourselves enough time, and time for what, right? Time to decide, is this a loving thing to do? Is this an ego response? Am I responding from fear? Am I responding from a wounded inner child or shadow self? Who is responding? Who's driving the ship in this situation? Always let yourself take a moment and consider that. If this feels happy, excited, yeah, you don't even gotta look back. Just keep going. If it feels questionable, it feels uncertain, that's where you do your research. That's where you sit in there and be like, who's doing this? And you wait and hear. And sometimes giving yourself a little bit more time. Because while your response may be legit, it's not always what you deserve to come out. Because while you may have been justified in that response, you also don't want to be hurtful to others. Even people that are pushing you. Maybe you just want to bring awareness. You don't want to be you don't want to be spouting out energy that is going to come back to you in these sharp and painful ways. Anything that we do to somebody else, no matter what, will have this ricochet effect. It's going to go through a little bit of a cycling of how much do they take of it, and then how much of you do you believe of it. But it will definitely come back through into you. So being mindful of what you're saying, how you're responding, how you're reacting is also a very powerful stance within your energy and to the universe. It will sound and feel weird and slow in the beginning. It will feel a little inauthentic because you've been so used to, like for myself, I would just fly off at the handle. I often would say things like, I don't trust my mouth. My mouth has a mind of its own. No, I just had no like self-control. I didn't encourage that. And sometimes maybe I did encourage the wild things that I would come up with out of my mouth. And sort of even let it be an excuse. Oh, I can't help it. I'm just that way. I'm reckless with my tongue. It's the truth. I can't help it. I can't help it. I can say it in a way that doesn't hurt. I would rather tell people a truthful thing so that they can understand it than hurt someone with the truth and like beat them up for it for not getting it already. The more that I let myself realize that every day, no matter how old I am, I'm 47 today, every day I get to be learning and growing. Every day, just like my littles are learning and growing and having new experiences. And when they make mistakes, I'm not going to make fun of them or talk down to them. I'm not going to talk down to me either. This is my first day doing this today. And I'm going to let myself be that way every day. I'm always going to let myself be easy on me. And giving myself that sort of nurturing space, it sort of helps me not make as much mistake. It helps me stay present with myself because I'm always sort of nurturing what's important to me. This is something, again, that you sort of get to grow within yourself. This was not natural to me. I am coming up on my 10th year in this work, and that feels so big. Like, oh my God, it reminded me of like Daycare World, so big. Oh, speaking of that, hooray. The thing we're gonna also share next is our yoga pose of the day. And in this pose, as we are going to be, as we've talked about time freedom, I also want to think about spatial freedom. Sometimes when we are not aware of our energy, people like me, people that are a little bit more codependent or not confident, as I used to be like older days before I was well, I would keep myself in these really small postures, Yoga has helped me realize that taking up space isn't just good for my physical body, but it's really good for my energy. It's encouraging to my energy to give me more as I take more. So the yoga pose I'm going to share is a little bit of the wild thing, or wild thing pose. The wild thing, that's funny. And this pose really kind of scared me when I first saw, because it looked like I could fall, and I have no desire to hurt myself. I don't want to do that. I'm not into it. So I'm gonna share this pose from. I have a chair behind me. I'm gonna share it from the chair, and I'm gonna share it from the floor, so that wherever you are more comfortable with being down, you can sort of decide, and don't let yourself hurt yourself. All right, let's see if I can get started. Again, this is my first day doing the camera in this way, so it may take me a moment to get that all together. I'm sort of seeing where I am, and I think that I have this, but there is a tiny delay on the camera to the computer. So yeah, okay, yeah, that should be fine. I think this will be fine. And I'm only about that tall, but I can angle this up a little bit. Nice. And then I'll just scoot that chair. Okay. So again, we're just gonna share a little bit of Wild Thing. Now, my chair is in the middle of the floor for the sake of the camera. When you practice at home, please put your chair against the wall. You want the support of the wall, but I'm not gonna put my bum in your face right now. That's not what we're doing. So we're gonna start with the chair first, but first we're just gonna warm up a little bit of stretching. So to do that, Plant the feet into the mat or the floor and just take a couple of stretches with the leg. Bend the knees on purpose, like lift the knees higher and higher, almost like you're trying to get your heels to your bum. As you do that, also wiggle the ankles. And then as you do that, press the toes into the ground. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, lean the pelvis in, straighten the back and legs again. Let the arms reach long, down, down, down to the ground. Let your head relax. Woo! Jaw relax. Make a little like circle with the neck and spine. And then we're just going to sweep the arms up, 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 up. Look up with the eyes and chin. Pressing into the big toes a lot. Start to bend the knees and come into this half lift. Now here, the chair could be here. So if this is as far as it feels like you can go, stay here. Keep a bend too if that feels better. I kind of really love straightening out my legs as I bend over. But you let yourself feel into that space. If forward fold is new to you, keep the bend until you're used to it so that you can get your hips hinged first, and then you can straighten out the backs of the knees. As you're doing this, the whole time, keep pressing into those big toes a lot. Again, my feet aren't touching and they're not super wide apart. They're lined up under the hip points and ears. So it's about 2 fists apart down there on the mat. So now that we're into this half lift, we can be here for a minute. We can bring the arms to the thighs and kind of press into the thighs. Straighten out the spine. And then we're gonna, if we're at the chair, which we're gonna do first, we can reach the chair. We can sort of send the bum back a little like down dog. And then we're gonna let the arms straighten out. So again, this chair will be against the wall. You can have your hands flat or reaching back, but I'm just gonna send my legs back. My hands are flat on the chair, and my legs, I'm gonna walk my legs back till I can straighten my spine. There's enough room with my hands so that they're at the edges of the chair. Pinkies are near the edges of the chair. And I can also, the thumbs are near my ears, so I can let my head come through my arms and shake my head. No. I'm still pushing into those big toes a lot. In fact, I even have my heels raised because I like more pressure, I guess, like inner body tension. But we'll talk about that later. At least be pressing into the big toes. You can totally keep a bend here too, or straighten the backs of the knees if that feels good. Shake the head, no. Press into the index fingers, press into the thumbs. Lift the head, lift the neck, and come back into a more straighter spine so the head is not between the arms. Now again, the chair is against the wall. Don't fail me, chair. We're gonna bring the left foot into the center, like lined up under our nose, and we're gonna take this right foot and curl it up, 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 and stick it up, up, up to the sky. What is that? What is that? Elias. What is that? What is that? What is that? Hello, little people. What is the alarm? Is it in your room? Where is it? What is it saying? Why? What did it say? Carmen outside. I'm bad. Why is it saying that? If you're still in the air, you're amazing. Okay, hold on. So down, down, down. Left leg lined up under me toes. Right leg kicked up behind. And then I'm gonna let it curl, curl, curl. As you're doing that, your head can sort of sink between your arms. You can reach that leg long. And as you're doing that, you're sort of stretching. Letting the leg curl again. Stretch it and let it curl one more time. And then bring it back down to the mat. So I always like to kind of straighten my spine before I do the other side. And again, you just line that right foot up under the nose. Walking it back into that down dog shape. Send that left leg, curl it up and send it up high, high, high behind you. And then with that hip open, just let the knee sort of fold. This chair is pressed against the wall, don't forget. Straighten the leg, let the knee fold. Kind of, you can play like with bringing the knee up to the elbows. So that's a nice stretch. Am I in the camera? Pretty much. Sending it back up, and let it open again. And then one more time down to the mat. And let's try it from the floor. Thank you, chair. Thank you for your help. You're welcome very much. Alright. Which way do I want to do it? Probably this way. Okay, so remember we just started scoop the arms up, press toes into the mat, big toes a lot. We can bend the knees first, come into that half lift, bring the hands to the thighs, shake the head, no. Bending the knees still, reach down to the floor, walk the hands, coming into that down dog, walk the feet back, bring the head between the hands and arms, and shake the head no. I always like to pedal my feet, shake the head no too. As you're in this space, you're always pressing into the index fingers and thumbs a lot, and you're always pressing into the big toes a lot. I'm going to bring the right foot, is this my right? I'm going to bring my left foot in the middle, under my nose. I'm going to take that right foot and curl it up, send it up to the sky, point the toes really high, and then open, let the hips just fall. I'm not going to fall over right now because, yeah, I'm not doing that. So this is, I guess, a wimpy wild thing, and that's just what we're gonna do today. Yeah, we're not doing the whole wild thing. Sorry, guys. Come back into the middle. You can even bring that knee up to the elbow if you like. Bring it back down to the mat into the down dog. Can I do a wild thing on this side? Maybe. I feel a little nervous. If I'm being honest, I'll try. We'll see. I'm not making any promises. I can change my mind. Press the right foot now into the mat, big toes a lot. Send that left foot up really high. You're pointing this big toe really high to the sky. Let that knee fall over. And then if you wanted to, you could let this fall down to the ground and reach up with this left hand really high. Maybe take your necklace off because it's dangling and falling into your hair. Woohoo, well thing. Bring your arm back down, swing that leg back up to the sky one more time. Bring that guy back down as a down dog. Pedal the feet, shake the head. And then let's just come down onto our knees. Bring down onto our forearms and come into a little bit of a higher child's pose. We'll put two of our fists on top of each other and just rest our forehead on top of those fists. Just take a little breath. That wild thing does feel good, I will say. If you feel safe enough to try that, I would say do it. Not from the chair. Not from the chair, guys. Okay. Big breath in, exhale away. And just like always when we get done with our couple minutes of yoga, or if we do a whole moment of yoga, just breathing into the body. Thank you, body. Thank you, body. Thank you, body. Breathing into the body. I love you, body. I love you, body. I love you, body. So there are some days where that's about as much yoga as I will actually do on the mat. Now when I'm in the kitchen, I'm always kind of stretching around. I have 9 screws in my left ankle, so I don't do a lot of standing poses, like balance poses, easy, because this side doesn't have that. Look at the balance today though, pretty well, right? This side doesn't have that. I have to use a wall a lot. So sometimes it's really cool in the kitchen because there's a counter. But as far as yoga on a mat, sometimes that's all I would just do, just that many minutes. So you don't have to always do a lot of minutes. Just be on purpose with your minutes, That's what makes it count. And even when you spend a lot of time, if you aren't on purpose, those minutes sometimes won't count. And then we feel a little bit like betrayed, and that's not cool, But you can cultivate the whole thing, whether it's a 5-minute yoga moment or if you're gonna do like 20 minutes or a 15-minute hour, you can make it so that it counts. Thank you for the lovely things. I appreciate that. You can make it count. So, and the more that you practice saying, this matters, and being in that knowing, you'll start to see the evidence, just like with our intuition building. You do it a little, you'll get a little bit of feedback, you'll notice the feedback, then you'll do it a little bit more, and then something that's brand new and a little efforty just becomes like your second nature. Yoga was not normal for me. I did not think this would be my life. Yet here we are, I didn't think any of this would be my life, and I couldn't be happier that I was so wrong. All right. I think that's all I have to share for the day. Let me know if you see any of those double Fs, and oh my God, how crazy that card, right? I also have a group where I share moon readings. If you want to join that, that's a free public group. I also offer private readings. I'll link the scheduling app, the scheduling link in this message too. And then tomorrow I'll probably have a little bit more information in the setup. Why is her? Oh my God, don't be so cute, Chris, because I'm the kind of person that would fall for that stuff. I'm a Libra, so yeah. Anyway, have a great Friday. Let me know if you have any questions about this or anything that I share ever, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.